I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you hip in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come on with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sit and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com, the new and improved WoodwardSports.com. I don't know if you guys noticed, you got a couple score updates up there. You got obviously all the articles below, and of course you got the live shows as always. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my man Spielman Rex.
What up, though?
We got young Chris in the TV booth, JB Smooth, the ones and twos. We got a big show for you guys.
We do.
I want to brag right away, Spinny. You know, but
you earned it.
I've been known to tell the future here and there, and 11 months ago, I don't know what date it was, but Aubrey Plaza had interviewed with the Minnesota Vikings, and then I went, same thing we're going to do today for Aaron Glenn. We're going to look for a possible replacement in case Aaron Glenn does get hired by the Indianapolis Colts, but at that time, it was for the defensive backs position for the Detroit Lions. Did a little bit of homework, and then I found Dre Bly, defensive back coach for North Carolina Tar Heels. And I was like, hold that Brian Wynn, former Detroit Lion, staff full of former players, former Detroit Lions players, Dre Bly, defensive back. It just made sense.
Sounds pretty good to me, and it looks like Brad Holmes heard you. We understand that Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, love the heavyweights, watch the heavyweights a lot, listen to us, take our advice. And, big heavy guys. Yeah. Obviously, Dan Campbell is a heavyweight himself.
Yes.
So, you might tune in and hear, Dre Bly. It's pretty good, Easy. I might go check that out. Dude. And little do you know, Dre Bly back in the D. You love to see it. Great player. Obviously had a great years at North Carolina as in their defensive coaching ranks, and now he's back in the Motor City with the Detroit Lions as the defensive back coach. You love to see it.
He was a dog here.
He was a dog.
And by the way, too, at a certain point, we're going to open the phone lines because I do want to hear from the OGs. I do remember Dre Bly as a kid. He was like one of my first favorite players of Detroit Lions, inherently from my uncle. But it's one of those situations where, I don't remember, his entire career. I just remember, he was here in Detroit. Pro Bowler here in Detroit, by the way.
Okay.
2 times. I think he had, 19 interceptions.
Yes.
Within his, 4 years here.
He's a stud, man. He was a stud. It's good to see him back there. He can help out the young guys. It's going to be a big help to Okudah and Jacobs, and we all expect them to go cornerback in the draft at some point, so we can bring somebody in and help him out. He knows the city, knows what it means, much like Dan Campbell, how Dan Campbell used to be a player here, knows what it means to be a Detroit Lion, knows what those hardships are like, know how much the fans and the city and everyone in the Motor City relies on them, expects out of them, thrives on their success.
What it means to win here.
What it means to win in Detroit.
Yeah. Because, like you said, the hardships. When you get those W's, the stadium's rocking.
Yes.
The 33rd team had another podcast, Amron St. Brown, his brother, and this time they had DJ Chark on, and they asked DJ Chark, what was his favorite stadium to play with? And he's like, honestly, it's kind of hard to go away from Detroit. It was outside of your home stadium, but he was like, no, Detroit, you're rocking.
The fans we heard it multiple times this year about how much the players thought that the presence of the fans, that 12th man atmosphere really played a factor into them having some success. Because who doesn't like to show out in front of the hometown from your home fans? So it's awesome for the Detroit Lions to do that, to grab a legend of the game, a legend of the city, bring him back on a position that was much needed as that defensive backs coach. So happy to see Dre Bly back in the Lions organization, and hopefully he can help out a lot with these young guys they got on the corners.
This is the first time I did this, by the way. The other one I don't brag about too much because it ultimately didn't work out. But I guess you'd say this gentleman had the most success up until. No, actually, he had the most success in the past decade. But once upon a time, when Stan Van Gundy was unemployed,
just form up in wall.
Right on Twitter, I slide into Pistons DMs and I was like, "Hey, we got Andre Drummond, a big guy. Stan Van Gundy's out there. He's available. He took a big guy to the NBA Finals with Dwight Howard. I feel like it'd be a great hire." They never messaged me back. But a couple months later, Spinny,
they hired Stan Van Gundy.
I'm just saying,
SVG is a good coach. He was pretty shit GM, but he was a good coach.
I agree to that 100%. 100%.
Good coach.
What actually hurt my heart a little bit, too, because I believe that same sentiment. Good coach, bad GM. But then he went in New Orleans. We had a good squad. Zion and Ingram. They were younger, though.
They were younger. They needed a different voice. I just still remember the video of Stan Van Gundy doing the dribble moves up the court where he's like, you got to package this with the cross.
No, he was nice with it.
Yeah, okay, Stan, I see you. Stan's got a bag on him, but
he looked like a basketball, dribbling a basketball.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get more into Dre Bly and his hiring
as
the defensive backs coach for the Detroit Lions, a position that was vacated when Aubrey Pleasant got the axe, another mid-season removal from the coaching staff by Dan Campbell that ended up working out pretty well in the Lions' favors. I'm not going to put everything on Aubrey Pleasant. I'm sure he's a great guy and great in the locker room, but the decision was made, it was finalized, and the Lions benefited from it. And now we'll see what Dre Bly can do. We're going to definitely talk about that a lot. But I have to clear something up because I saw it on BDE.
Oh, yeah.
Saw it on the thumbnail today.
Yeah, probably
see
should
it in
start
the
with
chat. Yes, I fought the law today. I was in there, squaring up with the prosecution. I had a court date set for today for a traffic ticket. It was expired plates. It was not some Grand Theft Auto. This is this crazy conspiracy that happened to me that I was running on the lam. No, it was an expired plates. I got it fixed. I renewed my plates. I showed them that I renewed my plates, and the ticket was dropped. I know that's not the juicy story that everybody wants to hear about me running naked down Woodward, with a K, spraying a K in the air and come and get me, coppers. Like, no, that's not what it was. I did get pulled over. It was on my way here in the morning on BDE, and D-Mac was sitting there. He's like, why didn't you name drop me? I was like, oh, dude, that's a good point. He was like, there's people do it all the time that I don't want to do it. He was like, I want you to do it, so you have the permission. So next time I get pulled over, I'm just like, yeah, Darren McCarty had me running out to get his Tim Hortons, and I don't know, it's it was a good situation. It was settled easily. The cop was there, the judge was there, and me and the judge had the same birthday, which is pretty cool. Just a little fact. He was like, it seemed like your plates expired on your birthday, which is oddly enough my birthday. I was like, oh yeah, it's my guy. He said, show us your renewal. I showed him my new registration, and the cop was like, I make an order to dismiss the ticket. And the judge was like, I'd assume you don't object to the order of dismissal. I was like, no, that's cool for me. He was like, all right, you're good to go.
It's cool with me, twin.
Yeah, so shout out, Spim 19, my dog. But no, it was easy. It's the first ticket I've gotten in a long time.
Yeah, that was like strategic. The way the excuse for the cop was you're getting Tim Hortons for D-Mac.
Yeah.
Automatically relating to like a donut situation.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy likes donuts too.
And that's what Canadians love, Tim Hortons.
What I gotta ask, like in a professional setting, what do you do with the hair? What do you do with the mop there?
What do you mean?
Like, is it in a ponytail? Are you like slicked back? Like, or you just let it?
Oh, I just let it flow.
He's rocking the hat and everything.
No, I don't wear the hat. I'll ponytail it possibly.
Yeah.
Or slick it back, but yeah.
Do you like a professional wrestler? When you do that?
Yeah. I put the eye black on, brother, and I walk up to him like this. Ticket right here is an embarrassment for your organization. I'm an institution in the city of Detroit. I just spit all over my computer, but it's all right, brother. You need to take this down off the record. You need to get rid of it, ball it up, and throw it away. And they listen to me, so I'm a commanding voice.
Eyeliner.
Yeah, I use my 5 minutes
baby oil.
Yeah, get the guns popping out of the shirt. I wear a medium dress shirt, so looking intense in that courtroom. No, but it was cool. The cop was cool. The cop told me, like, when he pulled me over.
Yeah, I'll just basically show up.
Yeah, he's like, I got some homework for you. He's like, just get your plates renewed, set the court date, show them that you got your plates renewed, and they'll drop it. I was like, all right, cool. So it wasn't some grand scheme or some plot I got caught up in. It was just
trial back to back.
Yeah,
trick you 2-0.
2-0.
I did call you the White Tea Grizzly last year.
You did call me the White Tea Grizzly. So I think my legs are a little thicker. I was a swimmer. Thicker. I got swimmer's ass, swimmer's thighs. Bro, I got a nice ass. I've heard it from many women on my escapades. Some are jealous of the cake I got. I'm not lying. Some get a little jealous of the spenny cake. I'm like, sorry, baby. Some of us got it, some don't.
Spencer got a fat ass and a head full of hair.
Yeah. Shawty got a big old butt. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, man.
All right. I'm trying to transition this to something else now, other than Spenny's ass. Here's another Detroit Lions topic.
Yes.
Detroit Lions PR running like wildfire right now. Calvin Johnson, I think it's a New York media outlet, but spoke that him and the Detroit Lions are currently progressing through the relationship and whatever the hell they had going on for that $1.6 million, which you love to hear.
You'd love to hear it.
We've been praising Sheila all off season. Actually, before this season, we've been praising Sheila, and we've caught flack for it, but she continues to hold the fort and show us that she truly gives a F. And I love that. I'm curious, though, how they're going to solve that situation, because I know with Calvin, because it was a player salary, it's going to affect the salary cap.
Salary cap, something like that.
But isn't there money like floating in the salary cap anyway? Like we're 13 open right now.
It's $1 million, $1.5 million.
Yeah.
You pay the man his money.
Yeah.
This is Calvin Johnson. This isn't, as much as I loved him, Anquan Bolden. This isn't even Nate Burleson, who is a legend in his own right in Detroit.
Yeah.
This isn't Titus Young. This is Calvin Johnson. Arguably the best receiver of all time, inarguably the best Lions receiver of all time, one of the two biggest legends in the history of the Detroit Lions. You pay the man his money. You will make it tenfold in appearances, in what he does, what he brings to the fan base. This should have been a no-brainer. I'm glad it's finally starting to get worked out. Pay the man his money.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's only been a thing as a matter of like it pertains to like the salary cap and whatnot, but they're gonna make money off Calvin Johnson.
Exactly.
After he's left Earth, Calvin Johnson could be. I mean, obviously knock on wood and hope nothing bad happens, but even well after he's gone, they're gonna sell jerseys. They're gonna sell the bobbleheads.
Yeah.
They're gonna play the highlights on YouTube on his birthday or wherever the hell else forever, ever.
Consistently highest jersey sales. You go to Lions jersey sales, and obviously you have the guys this year, the big stars. Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, always in the top 5.
Pistons fan 11 in the Woodward Sports Chat says Cap just went up a ton too. Wonder if there's any coincidence. That may be.
Definitely helps. Gives you a little more wiggle room, but still, it's $1.5 million. And pay the man his money.
I know at first too, like when he expressed this, that they reached out beforehand and they wanted to work something out, but it pertained to him like doing something in return for it, and he was just the principle of that kind of like just bothered him, which I understand. It's when Andrew Luck retired with the Minneapolis Colts, a Super Bowl winning organization, they gave him all his money,
all of it,
the rest of his contract.
And Andrew Luck was a great player.
Wasn't what Calvin Johnson was.
He was not what Calvin Johnson was.
Nope.
You could not argue that Andrew Luck is a top 3 quarterback of all time. He was a great talent. If he would have continued to play and had some success in the postseason, maybe, because his talent was off the charts.
Yeah.
But Calvin Johnson is inarguably a top 3 wide receiver in the history of the NFL. And he played for you for his whole career. Pay the man his money. He's Megatron, one of the most iconic names. It's up there with Black Mamba.
Bro, he was on the cover of Madden.
Yes.
When the Detroit Lions weren't doing diddly squat.
Diddly squat.
He had his own shoe.
Diddly squat.
Football players don't get their own shoe. Yes. He had his own shoe.
Yeah. So I'm really happy. We've talked about this, constant different segments of giving Sheila her flowers for the things that she's done just in her short reign as the owner of the Detroit Lions. We've talked about getting Hard Knocks. We talked about getting the draft. We talked about changing the field. Fans and players
right after
immediately, as soon as the season ended, they rehauled it. They're putting in a better field, so you don't have, because Tracy Walker kind of blames the field a little bit for his injury. We've seen different studies about that field not being the safest for players. Yeah. And what does Sheila do? She goes in there, she rips it up, and she's putting in a new field. She meets with the media after being instructed not to. She's doing everything right, and paying Calvin is just another flower in the cap of Sheila Fordham.
She's a boss.
She's a boss.
And she's getting this rebuild of the Detroit Lions done quicker than expected. Yeah. She told you they were tearing it down, but that uptime matched the Detroit Lions, and that's probably because they went to Alta.
Probably.
Because that Alta equipment,
uptime,
matters. Alta equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Make sure you give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Again, that's 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Alta equipment where
uptime
matters. This is Woodward Heavyweights. We'll be right back.
Woodward Sports loves sports, and we also love to party. Join us for the big super party. Wait, we can't say super. We really can't say come join us at our super party on Sunday, February 12th. From the only place that can handle a Woodward Sports super party, well, our super party will be at Flight Club on Michigan Avenue in Inkster. Join us for a live pregame show and watch party with the crew. Enjoy a halftime buffet. DJs, the Woodward Sports sports family and more entertainment. You don't want to miss the big game with Woodward Sports. Get there early. This event will reach capacity. Come celebrate the Lions season and enjoy the final game of the year in style. See you Super Sunday at Flight Club. At least the party will be uncensored.
And the Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on the new and improved WoodwardSports.com. As we said before, guys, the website's got a little bit of a facelift. It's got live score updates. Obviously, the articles, as always, and the show's live on there as well. You log into YouTube and comment. Looks nice.
It looks nice.
Not as nice as your ass, though, according to Spinny.
You know, I'm just saying, bro. Your boy's got cake. I've been told by multiple women, you got a nice ass.
Double caked up on a Thursday, man.
Spencer confirmed this week twice he would sleep with a man for $1 billion, and he's caked up.
$1 billion is $1 billion.
He's just trying to pimp himself out.
You're saying you wouldn't? There's nobody in the right mind would say no to that unless they already had billions of dollars.
Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm your boy Eazy Jordan, but my man Spin Mo Racks. We got young Chris in the TV booth. JP Smooth on 1 to 2s. Spencer double caked up on a Thursday, double cheeked up on a Thursday. We introduced it a little bit before. We called it last year. Dre Bly returned to Detroit Lions as defensive backs coach. I couldn't be more excited for it. One of the reasons I wanted to we talked about free agency a couple weeks back, and I wanted to sign Marcus Peters.
Yes.
I was almost open to the Jalen Ramsey conversations that were going on too.
It's a lot of money,
but a lot of it revolved around those guys mentoring the young defensive back. I'm assuming we're drafting this year. Mm-hmm. I want the first round. May not be the first round. Brad Holmes is a savant, so I'm not going to trip if not.
I'd be pretty surprised if they left the first round without a defensive back.
I would too. But we're getting one nonetheless. Jeff Okuda's still a younger defensive back in the NFL. This is arguably, I mean, Brad Holmes said it like almost his first to sophomore year they had this year because he actually was healthy. But one of these reasons I wanted these veterans in here, though, was the help of Jeff Okuda, the help of first-round defensive back pick. But Dre Bly, this is the guy that's been in the Super Bowl. This is a guy that's been at the 2 Pro Bowls as a Detroit Lion.
Yes.
24 turnovers. I'm sorry, this is a Jared Goff stat. I'm sorry, 19 interceptions in those 2 years he made the Pro Bowl. He could have made the Pro Bowl a third year too. Dre Bly is a bad man. That's the same mentorship that you would want out of a Marcus Peters, out of a Jalen Ramsey, that he's going to bring to his defensive back room. And I'm telling you, I'm here for it. I listened to a couple videos on the way in too of him, and this is back when he was at like, he wasn't even at freaking North Carolina at this point. But he was just talking about like what made him great as a corner, or what made him good. I don't know if you call him a great. But he had some great years.
He had some great years.
But it was more the cerebral. Mm-hmm. And that was everything we spoke about with our philosophies a little bit with players turned coaches yesterday. It was like, it's not really the great players turn great coaches. It was like the medium to bad players turn great coaches because they played the game cerebrally. They played it with a mental aspect. Mm-hmm. And that's what Dre Bly was. That's what he attributed his Pro Bowl years to, was him having that mental aspect of, you know, what to expect from wide receivers, certain tells they give away to make a play on the ball. And on top of that, he was just a dog.
He was a dog.
It was more than just interceptions. You go to his highlight reels, he's ripping the ball out of receivers' hands too. It was cool.
I was just about to say that. You look at his Pro Bowl year in Detroit in 2003, not only did he have 6 interceptions, he had 5 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries in the same season. Like, this guy was a ball hawk. He was an animal out there. It's very exciting to see Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell add another guy like this to their coaching staff. It's just another tool to their arsenal, another toy in their toy chest, another cog in the machine that is that Detroit Lions coaching staff that is built off of this, is built off of former players, is built off of connections that they made not only in their playing career but throughout their coaching careers. And we talked about it briefly in the open, but much like Dan Campbell, Dre Bly knows the woes of the city. knows the woes of the franchise, knows how badly this city of Detroit is desperate for a winner, is desperate for someone they can hang their hat on and say, this is my team. This is the Detroit Lions. Dre Bly knows that firsthand. Bringing him into this coaching staff was an A-plus move in my mind. Not only for that fact, but the fact that, like you said, he can help teach these guys. He is not this old timer. Yeah, his last year was in 2009, but he is still ready to teach, ready to instill what he learned as a defensive back in the NFL to help them get the best out of themselves. It'll be a huge help for Jeff Okudah. It'll be a huge help for Jerry Jacobs. And it'll be a huge help for, hopefully, Christian Gonzalez. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. This is a guy that has played the position in the highest facet you can. A Pro Bowler in the National Football League. You don't get any better than that when it comes to football in the world. Dre Bly was there. He was there in Detroit, which makes it even better.
Yeah, and then last year, obviously, they fired Aubrey Pleasant midseason. And what happened is Brian Duker, the safeties coach, ended up taking over the DB role as well as Aaron Glenn. And that also allows Aaron Glenn to return back to more of those defensive coordinator duties, in which we have a topic coming up next because he's doing his second interview with the Indianapolis Colts. We're kind of nervous about him leaving. But we have the Instagram post from Dre Bly himself, if you don't mind, young Chris, put this thing up. I want you to ooh, that is tiny print.
He says... Yeah. I'm excited to announce that I have joined the Detroit Lions as the cornerbacks coach. Thank you to Miss Sheila Ford Hamp and the rest of the Ford family. DC Aaron Glenn.
What?
GM.
What?
DC Aaron Glenn.
One more time?
DC Aaron Glenn.
One more again.
DC Aaron Glenn.
I think he's coming back.
GM Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell for an opportunity to come back home. This place will always be special to me, and I'm ready to get to work. Hashtag Detroit Lions. Hashtag One Pride. Let's go.
That DC Aaron Glenn spinning, I think, is important because we have DC Aaron Glenn taking these head coaching interviews, but he's hiring his defensive staff. He's put in charge of it. That's why he was so hurt during the Aubrey Pleasant situation.
Yeah.
I have to assume, although a former teammate of Dan Campbell, Dre Bly getting hired by the Detroit Lions as a defensive cornerbacks coach has something to do with the man he thanked in that post, DC Aaron Glenn. And I don't mean to spoil like a whole other segment. I mean, maybe we just stretch the thing out a little bit. But do you think that's a little hint towards Aaron Glenn coming back?
I think it could be. You look at Aaron Glenn, obviously he was a dog in his own right as a defensive back. Obviously he was a playmaker in the NFL in his own right. Has been in the coaching game longer than Dre Bly. I'm sure they were friends because the NFL really is a brotherhood. We've talked to Braylon about it multiple times. We've talked to Malcolm about it. We've talked to different people who have been in that position and talk about the NFL being a brotherhood.
Yeah.
And especially you see defensive backs get tight. We remember when Darius Slay was with the Detroit Lions, how pissed he was when Matt Patricia was all salty about him going to work out with Richard Sherman and Jalen Ramsey and different guys in the offseason because Matt Patricia's a loser and we don't miss you.
100%.
But that is what defensive backs do. They teach each other their game. They learn from each other. And I was sad when I heard that Deuce Staley moved on.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, the Deuce and Aaron Glenn chirping, some of the best content we got out of Hard Knocks, some of the best things we saw all year. Maybe we'll get it back. With Dre Bly chirping at Aaron Glenn. With Aaron Glenn chirping at Dre Bly saying, get your shit together. Stuff like that. Like, these guys are competitors at heart.
Yeah.
These guys are driven by being great in what they're doing. And you see how much the city of Detroit means to him with that. I'm coming back home. This place will always be special to me. This isn't where he started his career. He started his career in St. Louis.
Yeah.
He was in Detroit for 4 years and then went to Denver. But he knows Detroit is special because he knows it. He's been there. He's been a part of it. And you can't change my mind that it would be the greatest thing for a former player to come back to the city and produce a winner where he knows they're so thirsty for one.
This is somewhere he actually gives a F to be, too. He had great years here in Detroit in terms of like individual play.
Yes, for sure. His best 2 years in his career were both in Detroit.
Yeah. And like you said, I feel like people like that, especially like former players, you have guys that aren't the former player route, that they maybe fizzle out in college or whatever, and they become head coaches. But Dre Bly played the NFL. I don't know what his financial situation was, but I'm pretty sure he could have probably retired happily, invested in something and chilled. But like you said, people like that want to be great. And I just feel like that's one of the situations with a player coach like that. They have that competitive edge, and him returning to the game is just an example of that, him wanting to be great. I'm sure no matter like what it is that he applies himself to, he wants to be great at it. And just fortunately enough, we have him here in Detroit as a defensive backs coach. And like I said before too, yes, he made the Pro Bowl, but it wasn't all pure off athletics. Dude played the game with a mental edge. Yeah. And that's what made him great at times.
You have to do that as a cornerback. You have to have that memory of a goldfish where it's one snap at a time. Doesn't matter what's happening. You have to know how to read a route. Cornerback, outside of quarterback, is the hardest position to adapt to when you're coming into the NFL because you start off running backwards against some of the best athletes in the world and have to make snap decisions. And this is a guy in Dre Bly that had 43 interceptions in his career. He had 24 fumbles in his career. He had 5 touchdowns in his career. Like, this is a playmaker in the back end. And he can come in here, mentor these young guys, mentor this young back end of the defense, and show them how to do just that. Show them how to have success in the league. Obviously, it's changed, but he's adapted along with it. It's not like he was just gone. He was still in football. He still knows football. He's still been around football even with the changes made. So, I'm like I said, I can't say enough about how happy I am with this hire. It is an A+ hire by the staff. Love Dre Bly, and I'm just happy for him to be back in the city.
Sal Abdullah in the Woodward Sports chat sent in a paragraph. I'm not going to call it a comment. It's a bit of a paragraph. But he says, I love Dre Bly, the player, but the coach, not so much. Look at his track record in North Carolina, one of the worst defenses, and I understand he's a position coach, but they were ranked 95th in pass defense at UNC. Do you have any concerns with that? Because I know you watch a lot more college ball than I did myself.
Yeah, no, I don't. They play in a
pass-happy conference.
It's college. It's a lot different than when you're dealing with the best of the best, when you're dealing with the elite of the elite. And putting him under a guy like Aaron Glenn, who's been in that situation before, knows what to do, will not only help him as a coach, but help him as a man when you put him behind a guy like Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that at all.
That's how I look at it, too. Like, Aaron Glenn in the defense, I know it hasn't ranked well in terms of, like, throughout the season, but I've saw moments in Aaron Glenn's 10-year here as a defensive coordinator that I saw like the coaching of him versus the talent he had. And I think it could be one of those situations with Dre Bly. Obviously, we've yet to find out, but obviously at the NFL level, you're working with the best of the best. The guys that are undrafted free agents at the NFL level are like studs at the college level. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like the elite.
The best of the best. The cream of the crop.
I think he's going to be working with a lot more to mold here in Detroit, and I think it's going to take a little bit off the plate of Aaron Glenn as well, because like we said, it was both Luke Duker and Aaron Glenn that took over the DB room at that point after Aubrey Pleasant had departed, and now Aaron Glenn's back to scheming. Dre Bly's back to teaching these guys the ins and outs of playing the position. I think it helps that he's a former player too. Again, this is a guy that made plays on the ball.
Yeah, and Blade No Icewood in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, he says we need a leader in the back end and everybody will respect him, and that is a fact. You're gonna listen to what Dre Bly is telling you. You can not only relate with what he is, who he is, but some of these guys watched him growing up.
I'm sorry.
And if they didn't, they're Googling his highlights right now. Yeah. And they're going to be like, damn, he was a dog.
Exactly. So I'm telling you, there's a couple probably old heads out there that still got the jerseys back from like 03.
Oh, for sure.
Probably
I think my dad has a Dre Bly jersey.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dre Bly is nice. My uncle kind of forced me into being a fan of his. Tell us about Planet Fitness, though.
I will, because Planet Fitness is not only the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network, it's also the home of the Judgment-Free Zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. The gym that has always been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. They have tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $10 a month. You want all the perks? Get a black card. Members enjoy the use of amenities such as unlimited training, hydro massage chairs, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,000 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. And I'll tell you right now, your boy just got his black card yesterday. Hit Planet Fitness for the first time today. Might be a not-so-heavyweight in the distant future.
Sick invite, bro.
So make sure you go check them out in person or online at planetfitness.com. And remember, if you're looking for a job, they are hiring all positions. You can check that out at planetfitness.com/careers.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. Because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
The Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you could play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120. If you get thirsty, they got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com, the new improved WoodwardSports.com. As I said before, we got the live score updates. Obviously, we still got the greatest articles up there, and you got the live shows. Come look at that.
Make sure you go check out WoodwardSports.com. Yeah. It's looking real nice.
You already know.
It's only going to get better. Only up from here, baby.
My boy Eazy joined by my guy Spin More Racks. We got young Chris, JB Sweet along with us. Now, I kind of already gave away my cards of what I think is going on with the AG situation. Aaron Glenn, if you guys don't know, had his second interview with the Indianapolis Colts today, which did make me nervous, but I dug a little bit deeper into what was going on. And the Indianapolis Colts have 8 candidates they've now interviewed for a second time.
Yes.
You saw the Instagram post from Dre Bly, thanking Sheila Ford, Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and I just got a feeling that he's coming back. I think the consensus around the NFL, I know that you think that it's going to be his drinking buddy at the end of the day. Jeff Saturday's going to end up with the head coaching job.
It would be such a joke if they hired Jeff Saturday.
And this is a bit more of hoopla or whatever.
Hoopla.
And maybe Aaron Glenn feels the same. We've seen multiple people pull their names from the head coaching candidacy this year. Dan Quinn being one. Ben Johnson being one. I wouldn't be surprised if AG was one too. But just in case we do lose him, because I do think it's a possibility. If you look at the Colts, their strength is defense. That's why I would carry in Aaron Glenn. You did some homework.
I did do some homework.
Who's going to replace him?
I got a couple guys that I looked at, a couple guys that I really like, one of them being Tony Oden. Tony Oden has been an NFL coach since 2004. He is the Jets senior defensive assistant and cornerbacks coach, and he was the Lions defensive back coach from 2014 to 2017. And if you remember that, the Lions had 58 interceptions during that span, which was 9th most in the NFL, and he helped get Darius Slay to his first Pro Bowl. In Miami in 2018 to 2019, he had Xavier Howard, who had 7 interceptions to lead the league. He had Minka Fitzpatrick, who was top 5 for rookies and tackles, interceptions, and pass breakups. And before he got into the professional ranks, he was a defensive backs coach at Eastern Michigan University. So he's got a lot of ties to the state, got a lot of ties to the city. That is a guy I'd be looking at. That is a guy who has a good track record. And another one, this might be my favorite one.
Another one.
I don't know how much ties he has to Dan Campbell, per se, or the Detroit Lions, but his name is Chris Richard. He is the co-defensive coordinator and secondaries coach for the New Orleans Saints. You know Dan Campbell likes to pick off that New Orleans Saints coaching staff. He's had a 15-year NFL playing and coaching career. Most notably, in 2010 to 2017, he was a secondary coach, defensive assistant, and ended up being the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks.
What year?
In the last 3 years, he was the defensive coordinator. So 2015, 16, and 17.
Okay.
And as you know, the Seattle Seahawks team, the Legion of Boom. Enough said. From 2010 to 2017, the Seattle Seahawks had a top 5 defense in the NFL.
Damn.
Only in 2017, they dealt with a lot of injuries in the back end, and they were ranked 11th. He was drafted in Seattle, played 38 games for the Seahawks as a cornerback, and then spent a year in San Francisco. But this is a guy who orchestrated a lot of what the Legion of Boom did well. Orchestrated a lot of those playmaking of that safety combo. I talk about the Lions safety combo and how much I like it with Tracy Walker and Kirby Joseph. He was the one who orchestrated that Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor safety combo.
Yeah.
He was the guy who put in work with Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner and different guys over there. That is Chris Richard. He was the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. He is currently the co-defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. That is a guy I'll be looking at big time.
I like that. I like that more specifically because when I look back at that Seattle Seahawks defense, I feel like it was one where it was kind of like Bill Belichick. I know we had our guy Ruth on a couple weeks, way back when the Detroit Lions played the Patriots. But we kind of talked about how Patriots free agents will leave. They'll be dogs under Bill Belichick, go elsewhere, and just be shit. And we've had that happen here in Detroit specifically. We had guys, Jelani Tavai, they wanted bad, and we took them. We just couldn't make it work. Kyle Van Noy, they made work. They made Jamie Collins work. They made Flowers work. I feel like the Seattle Seahawks defense was a little bit of the same, where they identified what these guys were good at, and they put them in position to just be that.
Have success.
Yeah, this is what you do. I'm going to let you do it. Because Cam Chancellor, all he did was bring the hammer.
Cam Chancellor is one of my favorite players of all time.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas, you make the plays. Richard Sherman, you're not great at man. We'll let you do zone. You play zone over here all you want.
Yeah.
And who's the guy that other
Brandon
corner
Browner?
had? Brandon Browner, that's right. And all 6-foot giant human beings, too. I do like that.
Another one that I looked at, this is kind of a shot in the dark, but I saw it and I was like, oh, that wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
D'Anton Lynn.
Okay.
Anthony Lynn's son.
Oh.
He's the Ravens safety coach. He has 8 years of NFL experience. The Ravens had the third highest third down defense in the NFL this year at 34.8%. In 2018 and 2020, he was Houston's secondary coach, which had 2 straight AFC South titles. They averaged the NFL's fewest points per game at 19.8 points per game. They were 9th in the NFL in interceptions at 15. They set the Houston Texans franchise record for a plus 13 turnover differential, which was 2nd in the NFL. And he was a 3-time All-Big Ten cornerback at Penn State. And, of course, we know Dan Campbell is good friends with Anthony Lynn.
Yeah.
This is Anthony Lynn's son. I'm just saying, it's not someone I expect, but it's someone that I wouldn't consider them peeking around at.
Yeah.
But definitely my 2 favorite are Tony Oden and Chris Richard. Obviously, you look at guys on the staff. You've got Todd Wash, would be a good candidate. You've got Coach Kelvin Shepard, who would be a good candidate.
I think so.
Hopefully we don't have – he's a little young into his career, but hopefully we don't even have to deal with this, because hopefully AG is staying put.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does – I mean – best of luck to him, but I'm sorry, Aaron Glenn. I don't want you to get that job. I selfishly want you to be the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions next season. Did we start an
Aaron Glenn smear campaign?
But there are. It worked with Ben Johnson.
I got a couple names too, actually, and one does feel like a little bit of a shot in the dark. It felt like more of a reality than it was beforehand. But now that Sean Payton's been hired in Denver, this gentleman, Ejiro Evero, defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. As you guys know, the Denver Broncos team finished the season ass, but the one strength of that team was their defense, and it kept them in games. I mean, that offense was putrid, which constantly kept their defense on the field, and they constantly continued to produce.
Yes.
And it wasn't like this guy inherited a great defense either, because I know Vic Fangio was there before. With Vic Fangio, they ranked 20th in DVOA under, I'm just calling him E&E, because I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's Ejiro. It's a crazy name. But then they moved all the way up to 10th. And just last year. And again, remind you of that putrid offense they posted on the field. They left the defense out there stranded every single game in, game out. And he also stems from a little bit of relationship to Brad Holmes. He was in L.A. with McVay before he got hired in as a defensive coordinator with the Broncos. And that's someone I was looking forward to. I got super excited about today just to find out while doing my research. Literally as it happened. It was like 13 minutes just reported. Sean Payton wants to interview him to come back as a defensive coordinator for the Broncos. But in the event that he doesn't, in the event that AG leaves, that's another name I like too.
I have one more. Again, I don't see the ties, but this staff has proven that it's not just about ties. You're going to go out and get somebody if they're solid. And that is Johnny Holland. He's the 49ers linebackers coach. He's been that for 6 years. Obviously, we know what he's done with the 49ers. They had the best linebacking core in the NFL this year. In 2016, he was with the Browns, where Christian Kirksey had 143 total tackles, and Demario Davis was in there having a great career. In 2006 to 2010, he was with the Texans, where DeMeco Ryans was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Brian Cushing had 133 tackles. He is a guy another former player, a guy that was drafted by the Packers in '87, had 6 seasons of 100-plus tackles in his career, is in the Packers Hall of Fame, was inducted in 2001. This could be a guy that DeMeco Ryans is looking to poach to bring to his Houston Texans staff.
Yeah.
But that is someone I would look out for because, like I said, the track record speaks for itself. The amount of players that he's put out and had great careers for. And obviously what he's done with the 49ers has been extremely impressive. And we see the success of the 49ers coaching staff and those defensive guys, whether it be Rob Saleh, DeMeco Ryans, or whoever they're going to have next.
Yeah.
That defensive assistant staff is loaded with talent.
Niners?
Yes.
It's crazy, too. You don't think of it this way, but Shanahan kind of held, he kind of coached McVay up, too, back when they were in Washington together. And then obviously he goes to Atlanta, then becomes head coach of the 49ers. Telling you, Sean Payton's nice, but if I had to make a trade for any coach, it's Kyle Shanahan. I mean, you look at these names stemming off of his
Kyle
tree.
Shanahan's a dog.
Nuts. Yeah.
He's a dog.
And he got John Lynch there helping out with the defense. But ultimately, at the end of the day, to, I guess, put Detroit Lions fans at ease, I think Aaron Glenn's returning as a defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. I think Dre Bly is a little bit of a signal towards that. I know that Dan Campbell trusts his guys a ton. I mean, he trusts them to the point where, like, he doesn't make the executive decisions by himself. As you guys saw in Hard Knocks, a lot of times it's Aaron Glenn that's in the room with them, helping them out. So I think this hiring of Dre Bly kind of points to AG returning.
Do you think AJ gets the bump up to assistant head coach?
No.
Because that was Deuce Staley, and Deuce Staley is no longer on the staff.
That's a great point. I can't say for sure, obviously, but I feel like he's just so tuned in with his defense and making this thing work, just for his name and he's got that competitive edge, like, for sure. He's got the burn. Nothing like medically, I don't know, but he wants to be good. You heard him say it when he said, "I want to be the best defensive coordinator in Detroit Lions history," and I truly think he means that. And I know that he sees these numbers at the end of the year. I think it was 31st last year, 28th this year overall, and he knows he could do better. And in my opinion, it's just a matter of getting some experience and talent in there. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to get that with Brad Holmes' 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders in this year's draft. So I think it'd probably be Ben Johnson. I know, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was AG. But I feel like AG wants to lock it on defense.
I could definitely see that. But, if AG does end up leaving, getting a head coaching job somewhere, I'm gonna need somebody to talk to. And luckily, we have the spot at his SMA or the Sports Marketing Agency. Because the Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. So make sure, if you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com and get the help you deserve.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full-line merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed-out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Downtown Detroit's all decked out with the return of the Cadillac Lodge in Monroe Street Midway. Midway's got a giant slide, winter bumper cars, and an indoor arcade. Plus, you grab drinks at the lodge before or after games. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with DeckedOutDetroit.com.
Check it out.
Check it out. What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward's Live on Motorsports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my guy Spinmore Rex.
What up, though?
Chris, JB Smooth along with us. And you mentioned a couple things. By the way, I think it's Ben Johnson who's going to be the assistant head coach.
Yeah.
I also don't know what that role entails. I feel like
I'm not sure. We did see it a lot in Hard Knocks where Deuce was sitting in the office with Dan Campbell going over things. I think it is just an understudy, a guy that's helps you in decision making, is tied in with the locker room, tuned in with the guys.
Maybe it's like a VP situation. Like if you go down, this person steps up, and yeah. And I can see it being Ben, because Ben probably wants to learn now that he knows he's going to get head coaching opportunities. But speaking of Ben Johnson, I found myself a little bit at ease with other Detroit Lions coaching news. And actually, this hire was announced alongside Dre Bly, but it was the new tight ends coach.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to say his name?
I don't.
I'm not a big fan of butchering these things. I know Braylon used to play with him, but he's coming over from Arizona, and he's obviously taking over the Steve Heiden. He's taking over the tight ends role, tight ends coach, which was formerly Tanner Estrand's. Now, I know that left some people in question what's going to happen with Tanner Estrand now. Is he going to become, is he just leaving the team? Or is it like, what's going to happen with him? And I know he's the passing game coordinator this year.
Yes.
This puts me at ease a little bit. And we hinted to this like yesterday, too, during the mailbag segment, but I feel like he's being groomed to become the next offensive coordinator, either for the Detroit Lions or for when Ben Johnson gets the head coaching opportunity. And it's something we've seen around the league like multiple times now too. I mean, Dan Campbell, it was a result of that in New Orleans. He was the assistant head coach. When there's somebody special or has something that they could be something greater beyond a position coach, they're automatically like thrusted into like that little guidance, in the NFL. D'Amico Ryan's example of that too, with Rob Saleh. He was being groomed to become the defensive coordinator because the writing was on the wall that Rob Saleh was going to get a head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with Ben Johnson now too, the writing's on the wall that Ben Johnson's going to become a head coach at some point in the NFL as well. I'm so much more at ease knowing that like Tanner's being thrusted into that position. This is actually a tweet. I don't know if you made this one to a graphic, Chris, because this is from my guy. Justin, thank you. But he's confirming exactly that. Additionally, Tanner Estrand is still with the team after the Steve Heiden hire. Estrand will focus more on the pass game coordinator role. That would imply a closer audition as a possible Ben Johnson replacement if he gets a head job in 2024. And that's exactly where my mind went with the tight end hiring.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of odd that Tanner Estrand was a tight end coach. You have a guy that was flirting with going, becoming a head coach, and then you hire a new guy.
Yeah.
Because he was also being rumored to be the replacement OC. And I think this is exactly what's happening with Tanner Estrand. And I'm so much more at ease because you know how much I love Ben Johnson.
Yeah, it's, Steve Heiden is going to be the guy that comes in and fills in that tight end position, that tight end coaching position. And like you said, Tanner Estrand is being groomed like somebody in Discord to take the role.
Who's the guy that plays Flash in DC?
Oh, Urza Miller?
Yeah.
He's being groomed like a victim of Urza Miller or a victim of Aubrey Graham to just take this role from Ben Johnson. We already talked about it. He played a big role and is sitting down with Ben Johnson and figuring out the offense before last year when Ben Johnson took his role as the offensive coordinator. This is a guy who obviously is respected as an offensive mind inside the organization. Obviously thought of as a guy who can be waiting in the wings of a possible replacement of Ben Johnson, where we all think that it is inevitably going to happen, that Ben Johnson will leave this coaching staff. Ben Johnson will get a head coaching role because that is just the realization of the NFL. That is the reality of the NFL, that young offensive-minded coordinators get jobs as head coaches, period. That's what happens. They go like hotcakes. I was surprised Ben Johnson came back this year, but they dropped the bag on his lap and said, "You're not leaving."
Yeah.
Not fucking leaving. But like you said, this is a little
yes,
loosey-goosey, baby. Loosey-goosey. When you
relaxing
know,
a little bit.
You relax.
Yes. I brought some you want after the show.
Be a lot cooler if you did. But you think Tanner Engstrand's not getting groomed to be the offensive coordinator? Be a lot cooler if you did. This is a guy that has been under the tutelage of a Ben Johnson for a year. And now it's going to be an even closer relationship this year, where he is going to be that passing game coordinator, where he is going to be picking the brains of a Ben Johnson, seeing how he prepares, seeing how he schemes, seeing how he draws up his play calling mechanics. And that is important to have a guy waiting in the wings, because when we thought we were losing Ben Johnson, we kind of scrambled for a little bit.
Dude, I was freaking
out. Who are we going to get? What are we going to do? This guy's awesome. We're losing him. Oh, my God, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
Realistically. But now that you know that this guy is there, he's taking control. Ben Johnson's bringing him up to his bosom, having him suckle at the teat of the Ben Johnson knowledge train.
Jeez,
it
man.
makes it a lot better.
It's really weird
that someone is there that is absorbing all of this knowledge and will be able to produce a similar product as what we've seen out of Ben Johnson, because it has been dynamic. He was a top 5 offense in his first year as a coordinator. That's not something that just gets forgotten about. That is not something that gets replaced easily.
Let me add some context to that too, by the way. This is not a Jared Goff hate at all. This is the reality of the situation. 2021 Jared Goff looked like he was on his way to becoming possibly one of those like veteran backups.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson took that and turned him into a top 10 quarterback in the league this year.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl alternate. All you gobblers out there, alternate.
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley. But nonetheless, that is what Ben Johnson did. And that's why I was definitely afraid of losing him, because Jared Goff had that type of year to where it was looking like he was going to give it another chance to be the guy, which he is going to be the guy for the next 2 years. I'm not even disputing that. I've never told anyone that's not going to be the case. It's just beyond that what's going to happen. And it just made it to where Brad Holmes wasn't for sure going to take a quarterback if he was available. And he still may not. But to this point with Ben Johnson, we're at least at ease that if he doesn't, that we have a Ben Johnson to fall behind that one. And Jared Goff is extended. Now we got Tanner Strand getting groomed to become that. And you may say the head coaches, the offensive minds, I should say, don't fall off trees. But then I thought of it in the same way, again, of the grooming situation with Kyle Shanahan. Urza Miller, both those guys. No, but Kyle Shanahan was strongly involved with the development of Sean McVay. And there's another name in there, too. Oh, my goodness. Who the hell is it? There's another name that Kyle Shanahan helped along the way, but it's one of those boy wonders, you know what I'm saying? But maybe that's maybe Ben Johnson and Tanner Strand, you know? I mean, that's just the way that the league's going.
This is the way the league's going, and Blade No Icewood in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, again, one of the greatest names I've seen come through this chat, says he's being groomed to leave with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
If the Lions pull the trigger and promote him to offensive coordinator, he can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what happened literally with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Where he wanted to get poached by Zach Taylor and the Bengals. But the Lions said, no, he's our offensive coordinator, so he can't. And that would be a very similar, if not the exact situation, if Ben Johnson decides to move on.
And even if, too, I feel like Sheila is different. I don't care how many hating-ass Lions fans want to tell you it's not the case. You look at her track record in comparison to everything that was held before her, night and day difference, guys. It is night and day. She truly gives a F in the middle. It's not even the same. The changing of the field, bringing a draft, all the other stuff. Getting a football mind in the front office to help her make hires. And that was actually supposed to be this original segment, was giving some flowers to Chris Spielman, because beforehand it was Rod Wood making all these hires and decisions like by himself. Well, this time he's got Chris Spielman alongside with them. We see Brad Holmes making these visits to the Senior Bowl. We remember the picture last year, Brad Holmes alongside Kayvon Thibodeau, and we were like, oh, well, who was alongside with them?
Chris Spielman.
Now, Chris Spielman's a big part of this too, but that's just Sheila though, like recognizing that or just getting that in there.
Like we need a football guy. We need a guy that knows football, a guy who can identify people that know football.
And Chris's brother Rick Spielman was the GM of the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Cook, Justin Jefferson, freaking my guy Tyler Conklin. He's drafted like a lot of good names. Was Harrison Smith drafted by the Vikings?
Yes.
Connor Cook, I'm sorry, Dalvin Cook. I apologize.
Yeah, I was like Connor Cook.
Yeah. But the Spielman,
I don't want that on my track record.
Spielman's no ball.
Yes.
That's my point. But to the Tanner Strand stuff, to bring it back there, I don't know how the hell I got all the way off track with that one. But I feel like in a position where the Detroit Lions were threatened to lose a Tanner Strand alongside of Ben Johnson, Sheila would throw the bag at him. Where I don't know that whoever's hiring Ben Johnson would trust him enough to give Strand that same amount of money.
Sheila Ford Hamp has shown that she's all in. Sheila Ford Hamp has shown that she's going to do what it takes to produce a winner in Detroit. And that whether that's getting the exposure, getting the right minds in there, building the right staff, maintaining that staff, it's all important situations that you see her right in the middle of. Mm-hmm. And that's great for me to know that the owner of the Detroit Lions, a football team I love, is on high alert, is making the right decisions, is not just collecting a check, kind of mailing it in.
Mm-hmm.
She wants it to get better. She wants it for the people of Detroit to have a winner, and you're seeing that with the decisions that she's making. So, I love it.
Kool-Aid and Woodward Sports Chat. Ben Johnson gonna wait for Goff to be a free agent and take him with him.
Yeah.
Guys, no. Come on.
I could see Goff being a quarterback's coach.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant as a quarterback.
Oh, maybe
like bringing him as a quarterback. I mean, they do have a relationship. And if he is free agent, I could see. I mean, maybe. I'm not going down.
I was surprised Ben Johnson.
We were having a good day.
Obviously, DeMeco Ryans was the big guy for that Houston job, but
yeah,
I would have loved that Houston job.
That would have been the one for me too.
If I was a young head coach, you get your quarterback in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of cap space, You can change it. The AFC South is not a great division by any means of the word.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it was a combination, like that whole situation going down where he obviously wanted to stay with the Detroit Lions. Combination of the money, combination of the culture, and just a combination of like, is he ready for it? Like maybe him having those interviews, just going through the process to know like what he needs to be prepared for. And again, he is younger. Not that young coaches can't gather a coaching staff alongside with them, but he does have to make those connections to have a reliable sources to develop a coaching staff.
Yeah,
and I'm assuming that's one of the reasons he is grooming Tanner. Because maybe he does want to take Tanner, but I'm just saying.
Grooming Tanner like a Discord mod.
Yeah, I don't think she was going to just let him go like that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Yeah, she likes what she has. She likes what she's dealing with, and if
like that
from in the organization, if they have this respect and this sense of Tanner Engstrand, I'm sure Sheila feels that, and I'm sure she wants to keep that going with what they're building right now, because offense is looking pretty damn good. But if you want to look pretty damn good, you can just go to Lady Jane's, because you can come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary, because at Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
The Monroe Street Midway has swapped out roller skating, basketball, and mini golf for a giant Arctic slide, winter bumper cars, an indoor arcade, and puck putt. With free entrance to the site, enjoy a variety of new activities aimed at creating exceptional winter experiences for everyone. Get to the Midway this winter to enjoy tasty treats and make magical memories during the most wonderful time of the year. Those tasty treats include, but are not limited to, burgers, pierogi, homemade chili, chicken sandwiches, mac and cheese bites, plus gluten-free and vegan goodies, so everyone can have something to eat. And of course, keep your eyes open for the Woodward Sports Winter Olympics. You'll be able to compete against Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, Adam, Ryan Ermanni, Jeff Iafredi, the heavyweights, and the Woodward Sports family in the Monroe Street Midway games. So make sure you go downtown and check out the Monroe Street Midway presented by Bedrock Detroit.
What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my man Spielman Rex.
What up, though?
Young Chris in the TD booth, JB Smooths in the ones and twos. Having a big football day. It's a good like day to be a Detroit Lions fan.
It is.
It's a perfect day to be a Detroit Lions fan following the departure of our guy Deuce Staley, which does suck, but it is what it is. I guess the next head coaching hire, I'm sorry, not head coaching hire, but the big coaching hire would be him. Partly involved with that, I gotta assume, is that guy Rick Spielman. We kind of hinted towards it in the last segment, but I just feel like this guy deserves some flowers, man. I feel like he's at the top and he's just moving in silent because he is that type of human being. When I first joined Woodward Sports, I did a podcast like from my old channel, live in my basement from Stick, just trying to get to know him and just just celebrating the whole situation now, joining the squad. And I asked him who was his favorite football player, and he was like Rick Spielman. And you know how Stick is. Chris Spielman. I apologize. Rick his brother, former GM of the Vikings. But he said Chris Spielman, and like I said, you know how Stick is. He's like that old school kind of
boomer.
Yeah, he's a boomer. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I don't like Teal because you don't bleed Teal. Yeah. He likes those old school tough guys, and that's what Chris Spielman was. Wore the neck roll and everything. He was a hard hitting linebacker out of Ohio State. And you know what they say, Spinny? Gangsters move in silent. And you know, looking at his track record as a player, Chris Spielman, not Rick Spielman, a little bit of a gangster.
Yeah.
And I just feel like his presence in the front office has been part of that. And then, yes, we credit Brad Holmes, and he just 100% deserves his flowers. Ray Agnew, Dan Campbell, all those guys. But I feel like Chris Spielman had a part in bringing this all together. And another name I guess I just want to acknowledge, like live on air. I just feel like it just slips underneath the rug.
Yeah,
discuss these things.
It's, you know, G's moving silent like lasagna, and it's just impressive to see what he's been doing. Like we talked about, this is a guy, not only he's been a legend for the Detroit Lions as his playing career, it's a guy that you can bring into the front office, and like we said, he knows football. He's a football guy. He's not a guy there for the numbers. He's not a guy there for the salary cap, for anything like that. He is there because he knows football, and he knows what it takes to win in the National Football League. So you get a guy like Chris Spielman in there, and he can help identify people that know football. And you see what happens. You get a Brad Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
You get a Dan Campbell. You get guys that are producing real results, that are producing real opportunities for Detroit Lions fans to buy into this team, not only for their ability to draft players, to develop talent, but just the overall mentality of this team has been changing. It does start a lot with what's going on in the locker room. It starts a lot with what they bring to the table. And obviously, all of that begins with Sheila Ford Hamp. It also begins with Chris Spielman, because he's an icon for the Detroit Lions. You think of Barry Sanders, you think of Calvin Johnson, you think of Chris Spielman.
Yep.
Like these guys are legends in the city for a reason, and having that around not only helps the culture of the team, but it helps the young guys realize, like, oh, this is what it means to be a Detroit Lion.
Yeah.
This is what it means, Lions fans, to love you.
Yeah.
To be a legend, to always be there, to always have that opportunity to be in the family. And Chris Spielman was a great hire. I don't know exactly what he does per se.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, he's doing a damn good job at it.
I think outside of like, it's like, I feel like it's one of those like president roles where he's kind of just like in on everything. Because as I said, you saw him in the Senior Bowl. You saw him when he's visiting with Kayvon Thibodeau, and it was rumored that the Detroit Lions were going to draft him at the point, because this is what we do as Detroit Lions fans and content creators. We see a picture with a GM or a president with a player, and he's like, "Oh, Lions must be interested." And that's not always the case. But I don't know if you, and I'll probably try to pull this up at Twitter at some point. But I don't know if you remember like the look of Chris Spielman in that photo. You know, Brad was like engaged in conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And Chris was definitely yeah,
looking like a mob boss.
100%. It's just like studious, you know, and intense.
Yeah.
But that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Spielman was on the Ermanni Edwards and Maz show one time, and it was just same thing. Too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wasn't cracking for like no jokes.
About his business.
About
that action, boss.
And you look at Kayvon Thibodeau off the field. Obviously on the field, he's still been somewhat productive, and he's off his rookie year. But the drama he's been stirring up off the field, whether it be on Twitter, being disrespectful to like Jeff Schwartz and whoever the hell else it was, Joe Thomas. Yeah, he's like, "Who are you?" Like, oh. Only like all pro, like one of the best left tackles of all time. Yeah,
offensive lineman,
that kind of stuff. But I feel like Chris is catching that stuff, and you look at this team, you look at the identity of it, and it being tough and grit and all that stuff like that. But that's talking about starting at the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Spielman is.
Yes.
And Spielman I guarantee was part of the interview hiring process of Dan Campbell, so on and so forth with Brad Holmes as well. And I just truly think that he's a big part of that. And this is a little bit maybe too much and overboard. It's kind of like Christian Gonzalez's brother-in-law being David Blau.
Yeah, David Blau. That's why I want him so much.
But Chris Spielman's brother is Rick Spielman, former GM of the Vikings. These are some of the names, because he could always just lean on him. Obviously, he's not within the organization. But Rick Spielman's not currently tied to any other organization. He's doing stuff for CBS right now. But Harrison Smith is a draft pick that he had. Cordell Patterson, Xavier Rhodes, Anthony Barr, Jerick McKinnon, Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is a 5th-round pick. Laquan Treadwell. I ain't going to bring that one up.
Carbotron, Duke Marriott.
Yeah. Dalvin Cook. But these are names that Rick Spielman drafted. Obviously, clearly has an eye for talent.
Yes.
He has a squad over there. Justin Jefferson. I mean, the list goes on and on. But that's another name that, like, Chris Spielman can lean on. Because, again, he's not affiliated with any organization right now in like these draft processes. And it's just, Chris deserves some flowers. I love that.
He deserves some flowers for sure. And like you said, he is the mob boss.
I don't know if you give a guy, like, because we're not giving Chris Spielman flowers. What are we giving him? Like lug nuts or something? Like, what do you?
I'd give him flowers.
Yeah? You think he'd beat you up for it?
Give him some golf balls.
Golf balls. There you go. That's probably it.
I'll give him a pack of Pro V's. But it's pretty exciting to see that. And like I said, the culture is instilled, that Dan Campbell kneecap biting grit culture of what it means to be a Detroit Lion. It starts with Chris Spielman. Because you look at that, and yeah, Brad Holmes doesn't have Detroit Lion ties. But he's damn good at his job.
Yeah.
Chris Spielman, Lions legend. Dan Campbell, former Lions player.
Yeah.
Dre Bly now, former Lions player.
Yeah.
This is something that they can look at as young players and be like, damn, like these guys were legends in this city. Dan Campbell, not so much, but he's slowly building. He's building his own legacy as a head coach. He was a solid tight end when he played for him. But like Chris Spielman, damn, he is a legend in this city. Like Dre Bly, damn, he was their best cornerback for a long time. Like until Darius Slay. You could say that Dre Bly was the best cornerback the Lions had. So it's something to it that these guys have something to look forward to. These guys have something to look up to. And it starts at almost the top of the top with a guy in Chris Spielman.
And I think it does a lot in erasing the stains of the past of this organization, too. The Detroit Lions been, I don't care what anybody says, I'm a Detroit Lions fan, too, but if we're being like honest about the situation, garbage, piss poor organization. Even at times they've made playoffs and stuff like that, like at the top was being ran horribly. And the Calvin Johnson stuff is an example of that, too. And I just wonder if like having a former player and Chris Spielman there at the top is like mending those types of relationships and across the league even.
Oh, for sure. It's like I talked about it already, the brotherhood of the NFL being an actual thing. And you think Calvin's happy?
And that's why I'm looking
Chris
at right now.
Spielman's up there
exactly
whispering in the ear of Sheila Ford Hamp?
Exactly.
You think all of these former players on the staff are happy that a former player in Chris Spielman has so much pull in this organization that he's whispering in the ear of the owner, being the master of whispers? Walking up to Sheila like, you got to change that field. hey, we should get the draft here. Like, it's Chris Spielman does this. He is football personified.
Was that you I was telling you about? I was like watching like those former like mafia videos about the guys in Michigan. Yeah. And like the longest running dude, and I'm almost scared to even say the name because I don't know if it's still going on, but he was in Detroit, one of the longest running like old style like mob bosses. Yeah. Grosse Pointe more.
What's his name?
I ain't saying that name.
Say his name.
Toko.
Oh yeah.
It's a Toko family.
Tony Toko. Dude, I've served the Tokos.
Yeah.
Before. When I worked at Andiamo, I was literally working a wedding for the Tokos.
Yeah.
And she was getting married, and I was serving the head table. And so I'm like pouring wine, and it's the Tokos. She was a very attractive young lady. But like, there were literally behind me two goons, like 6'5", 360-pound dudes in like purple suits, like standing there, and I was pouring this wine for a Toko, and I was like, dude, if I spill this wine right now, I'm gonna get Garrett whacked. So, it was dope though. It was at Joe Vicari's house. Shout out to Joe Vicari.
Who's that?
He's the owner of Andiamo.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun to do that, and it was cool because, like, you know, I'm an Italian guy. Yeah. It's cool to be involved in that. My boy Dante brought me in. He's a very Italian guy too. His family, Beta Rico. You know, shout out. So it was such a cool situation. But I was like, dude, that's
Dante's definitely tied.
I was like, I'm serving Brittany Toko right now. I was like, this is wild, dude.
But one of the I was saying though, he's like one of the longest reigning mob bosses amongst like all the families. And what it was, his secret to it was he was like behind the scenes, just quiet. And when I look at Rick Spielman, Detroit Lions organization, it's a lot of the same stuff. And
the only kind of flowers we're not trying to give Chris Spielman is Trey flowers. Shout out to Jay Cruz and 7-1 in the Woodward Sports.
Yeah, that's facts.
Those aren't the flowers we're giving him.
Those are not the flowers.
I'll give him a box of Pro V1s.
Yeah.
Ask him if he can teach me.
What do you give the tough guy, JB?
What do you gift the tough guy?
Yeah, you can't like give him flowers, right? I mean,
some protein powder. How about
steak?
Some steak.
Steak.
That's what. Yeah,
Chris,
I think that's it.
I got an A5 Wagyu steak here for you.
Yeah, from the Toko family.
From the Toko family. Tell the Tokos they said hello. No, but honestly, I was nervous as shit.
Yeah,
because like I was pouring red wine. She was in a white dress. It was her day.
You're kind of high.
I was. Yeah. But when I get there, we got to go swimming because it was hot.
You went swimming at the house?
Yeah.
They let you swim?
Yeah, because Joe's wife, Rosalie, was like, we were in our triple blacks, which was black long sleeve shirt, black pants, black vest. And it was like 95 degrees out.
Shoot.
And she's like, you guys could take the vests off. You can roll up the sleeves, which is like We didn't expect that. She's like, you guys want to go swimming? We're like, no. But it was dope, dude. Nice house. And boss move by Joe Vicari. Like, a lot of people like have, pictures of their family, on their mantle or something.
Yeah.
On his mantle in his
picture of him.
living room is a picture of him.
Doing what?
Giant picture, just like sitting there like a boss, like an Italian mobster. Giant picture of him, dude. Is such a nice. I went to so many nice houses when I worked at Andiamo. There's one we worked out of a garage.
You talking about they just gave you shit?
Yeah. They just give us stuff. They give us edibles. They give us and like there's this garage we were working out of was bigger than my house.
Yeah.
It's where we had like all the
That's
food
insane.
and stuff, and like we were doing the dishes in there, and it was a 12-car garage, but there was like 3 here.
Where was this?
And then 3 and 3 on top of them.
Yeah.
And there were like machines that like moved them around. And it was like there was like a Maserati, a Phantom,
Whose house
Jaguar.
was it?
I can't remember.
What area were you in?
He had a golf course in his backyard.
Jesus.
It was in Bloomfield. It was nuts, dude.
Way to rub it in.
He had a slushy
Chris.
machine in his garage. He's like, you guys can have some slushies. I was like,
If you wanted your basement to look that sweet, where would you go?
Oh, come on, man. That's easy. That's easy. You know the answer to that. That is Matrix. And tomorrow, join Big D Energy, Ryan, Ermanni, and Braylon Edwards with Maz at the grand opening of Matrix Home Solution in Plymouth. Come check out all that Matrix does. Remember, they got that A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. They are the ones to go to for your basement remodels. And while you're there, you have a chance at winning great prizes plus autographs by Braylon Edwards and Darren McCarty. Once again, that's tomorrow. See you Friday at Matrix Home Solutions in Plymouth, 41303.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. Because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Woodward Sports loves sports, and we also love to party. Join us for the big super party. Wait, we can't say super. We really can't say come join us at our super party on Sunday, February 12th. From the only place that can handle a Woodward Sports super party, well, our super party will be at Flight Club on Michigan Avenue in Inkster. Join us for a live pregame show and watch party with the crew. Enjoy a halftime buffet, DJs, the Woodward Sports family, and more entertainment. You don't want to miss the big game with Woodward Sports. Get there early. This event will reach capacity. Come celebrate the Lions season. Enjoy the final game of the year in style. See you Super Sunday at Flight Club. At least the party will be uncensored.
And the Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
What up, though? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live at WoodsportsSports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my man Spinmo Rex.
What up, though?
Kung Fu Spinny, Young Chris, JB Smooth. Chris, we're finally gonna let you talk a little bit. All right.
Thank you.
Don't fuck this up.
Don't ruin it. Don't suck this up.
Whoa.
I just didn't want to say the F word.
Yeah. It's fair.
The big boss is watching. Our Toko was watching.
Toko's watching.
Yeah,
sure.
Toko was watching. Hit the like button. Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights, live on WoodSports.com, the new improved WoodSports.com, live score updates, always the best articles, and of course the live show as well. And there's a chicks tab on there too if you're into that kind of stuff.
There sure is. There's also a Spenny feet pics tab. Sure you know.
Yeah.
It brings you right to my OnlyFans.
How much would you charge?
Feet pics?
Yeah.
$20 a pop.
I feel like we should almost. I'm gonna do OnlyFans just to do it, just see what happens.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Latavia selling her panties for $90 million.
Big lotto.
Big lotto. Yeah, what's Latavia?
Latavia.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I turned her Ukrainian.
We should just do a fake one.
A fake.
just a fake. Oh, we got Margot Robbie's panties, but spell the name wrong so we don't get sued.
I just don't see it working.
It'll work.
Like, we just use like Google Images.
Yeah.
And like, what, are you gonna wear the panties?
Yeah, it'll be my ass. You know.
It smells like balls. I want my money back.
I'll just rip a couple stinky ones in there.
Spencer's like, "What's wrong with you? My ass is fat."
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna let Chris talk because reportedly the Detroit Pistons are not interested in trading Bojan Bogdanović, not even for a first-round pick that you originally wanted from the LA Lakers. And how you feel about that?
I think that's a mistake if you don't take that 2027 or 2029 first round from LA. No LeBron, no Anthony Davis. Well, probably not Anthony Davis, but for sure not LeBron at that point. Who do the Lakers have? And with no picks, how do you rebuild? That's a team that's destined to be mediocre to bad for the rest of the decade after like probably this year and next year. So that's one that I'm upset about, but ultimately I get it. There's a lot of pressure by the Pistons to win next year, to be in the play-in, and that's been stressed by people like Zach Lowe, who have talked to people in Detroit, like national media pundits are saying it. People locally are saying it. There's a lot of pressure for the Pistons to win next year, and clearly this is a very flawed team, being one of the worst teams in the league. So you need a guy like Bojan, but I still think if the right price is there, you do it just because of the state the Pistons are at. But I'm not mad at keeping him. I'm not mad at keeping him at all.
Yeah, I'm not mad at keeping him either. He'll still be a hot commodity next year if things don't work out and you decide to move on from him. But what they're trying to do, they promised him that they'd bring some impact players in free agency. You're going to have Cade Cunningham back, and he's more than likely going to be better than ever because this is an injury he's been dealing with basically his whole life. So if you can give me a healthy Cade Cunningham, a Bojan Bogdanović in there, maybe a Victor Wembanyama, and then you add a piece or two in free agency, that's a team I could see making some noise in the Eastern Conference next season. Although it depends on if they're actually going to do it. Like I said, they said that they would. I doubt they just lie to that man Bojan's face and say we're going to go after impact free agents. Then I'm signing K. Felder. So they'd be bringing back Christian Wood. We talked about bringing back a Chris Middleton, different things like that. There are going to be pieces that the Pistons will be able to attack in free agency. So it all depends on that. But for me, you need to get defense on this team. That's what you need the most. You need perimeter defense. And as much as I love Sadiq Bey, him and Bojan Bogdanović are not a great pairing.
Yeah.
They both are shooters who don't play defense. So you need somebody out there who can lock down a perimeter defender. You need somebody out there.
That's why you call Guardian Alarm.
Lock down. That's why you call Guardian Alarm.
Stay out.
It is the next read, which is funny. But you need someone who can go out there and make something happen defensively. And obviously we know Cade Cunningham coming back will play a huge role in that because Cade is a great defender at his size with his length. Obviously another year of Jalen Duren adjusting, becoming a difference maker in the paint. But I've talked to Pistons insiders, guys in the know about the Detroit Pistons defensive philosophy, and they said they don't really have one. They said they just have points of where they try to attack.
Wow.
And they don't really have a defensive philosophy that they're backed on.
What happened to the switching they were doing and all that's gone?
It's gone. You know, you lose a guy like Cade Cunningham who was, outside of Killian Hayes, your best perimeter defender. It's tough to do that when you have a rookie in Jaden Ivey. You have a Bojan Bogdanović who's not a perimeter defender by any sense of the word. And you have a very young team. It's hard to kind of adapt to that. But getting Cade back will definitely help defensively. I think they need to get another lockdown defender on the edge. And then if you get a Wemby to pair with Jalen Duren, that will be a nasty, nasty rim protection combo.
I see OG Anunoby on the trade market.
Yeah.
Is that something you see?
It would cost too much.
Yeah.
The Raptors are asking for a fortune for OG.
Oh, it's already out, like what they want?
Yeah.
What are they asking for?
They're asking for a good young player and a couple picks.
Yeah.
Are they just blowing their whole situation up? I don't.
They're probably going to trade everybody but Pascal and Scotty. Yeah, I would assume. It's because they paid Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
Like they locked into Fred VanVleet, he's a good player.
Not that good.
But not that good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I always like wondered that. Like was I being a hater on Fred VanVleet? Because I was always like, I don't get it. Like, why? I mean, he's nice when he's nice. I feel like a little bit because of the finals run. You know, he was helping with that. Now, there was a trade on Twitter. I don't know. Is this a 4-way trade? What is this, Chris?
Yeah, it's a 4-team trade, and I'll put it up here and I'll read it. So we got the Lakers receiving Bojan Bogdanović, Kyle Lowry, and Ish Smith, Piston legend. Detroit Pistons receive Russell Westbrook, Zeke Naji, a 2028 first-round swap with Denver, a 2028 second-round pick from the Miami Heat, and a 2029 first-round pick from the Lakers. The Heat receive Michael Porter Jr., Bones Highland, Marvin Bagley, a 2027 first from the Lakers, a 2029 first from the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets receive Jimmy Butler, Alex Burks, a second-round pick from the Los Angeles Lakers.
No shot.
This is one of those trades where literally everybody says no.
Yeah, that is an awful trade.
You don't do this trade. For one, you don't trade your star player mid-season. Like, the Heat are not trading Jimmy Butler right now. Unless you get Kevin Durant or LeBron James in that trade package, you are not trading Jimmy Butler. Like, that is who your team is built around. That's who you constructed your roster around. You're not doing that mid-season. Like, same with Bogdanović and Lowry to LA. Like, that's the most logical part of the trade, but everything else, Denver's not moving on from Michael Porter's salary at this point. Like, it's just, that's one of those trades
you're
where
telling me
people
the Pistons are giving up Alec Burks, Marvin Bagley, Bojan Bogdanović, taking on Russell Westbrook, and all they're getting is a first-round pick and a first-round pick swap? Like, not a chance.
Never. Yeah. And
when
it's
has
a
Troy
pick
ever been
swap
fleeced
from
like that?
Denver too. Like, Denver's going to be a contender or near the top of the league. So
they're going to be top 3 in the West for the next.
You're talking like the 25th
years.
pick in the draft and one Lakers pick 4 years from now. Which, again, that Lakers pick is very valuable, but it's not worth decimating your whole core. This whole Pistons team, you have like 8 guys that are rosterable. If we're being honest, maybe 10 at the max that actually deserve to be on NBA rosters. And you want to get rid of 3 or 4 of them. You're not getting the value back that you're giving up.
And you're taking on Russell Westbrook's contract.
That's
a first-round pick
season
alone.
Yeah, but I agree with that.
Yeah.
You should be getting one for giving up Bojan, getting one for taking Russell, and then Burks and Bagley combined equals 1.
Literally makes zero sense to do that trade.
That is terrible.
Was that a rumor? Was that like a fan thing? I don't even know.
That's 100% a fan thing. Like, it honestly,
zero sense.
It might be like a
typing
Bleacher
looks
Report.
like
Bleacher Report be putting out stupid
the typing looks like Bleacher
Report.
Report, but I don't even want to disrespect them like that much. That's just a crazy stupid one. That's somebody just messing around on the NBA trade machine drunk.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
I'm going to put him and Jimmy Butler will go to the Nuggets.
Jimmy Butler and Jokic should be nice.
Jokic and Butler would be pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the hell out of here with that shit.
The Bojan stuff, because this is like an instance, the original conversation we were having about Bojan it's just a first round straight up out of LA, or was it alongside with like Westbrook or something like that?
Well, you have to take on Westbrook's contract. Like, the way a Pistons Lakers trade in general would work is Bojan, Russell, and picks would all have to be involved, like bare minimum, because you have Russell Westbrook's contract, who's twice as much as Bojan.
$47 million.
Yeah. So literally over 2 times as much as Bojan's contract. So you'd also have to throw in Marvin Bagley and Alec Burks, or maybe Nerlens Noel instead of Bagley. So you'd have to throw in 3 guys just to match Russell Westbrook's 1 salary.
Well, you know what though?
It's not worth it right there, just off that alone.
Hell no.
It actually wouldn't have to be a clean match like that though, because the Pistons have a little bit of cap space, so like take on Russ singly.
Not that much though. You're talking 25+ million. Because the salary cap for alone is like 10 to 15 million below. So the Pistons legally could not enter the season with more than like 10 million in cap space. That's a rule that they put in to stop teams for like the Clippers with Donald Sterling, where he would just sign a bunch of players for the minimum and have a garbage team just that he didn't have to pay.
Yeah.
Wildly enough, that trade was actually from Bleacher Report too.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Stupid.
Makes sense.
I knew it. They always be putting out stupid ass trades like that. But like I said, the Pistons need some defense. And if you need some defense, you get it at Guardian Alarm, because it's a new year. So let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. They're professional technicians. Take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night, and know a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And, of course, technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. It's proven to work, and people have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800-STAY OUT. That's 1-800-STAY OUT right now, and let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
If you're disgusting and fat and out of weight like I am, you can have custom health centers, and they'll help you with that. Our very own Ryan Ermanni did that, and he lost upwards of 20 pounds. He went from Corey Spaghetti to Corey Maggette. But in all seriousness, if you want to lose some weight, hit up Custom Health Centers. They can help you. Ryan did, and he's down upwards of 20 pounds. Call them at 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446. Call Custom Health Centers today and let them help you lose some weight. Don't be fat.
Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com, the new improved WoodwardSports.com, updated with live score updates, news articles, and much, much more.
And the link to my OnlyFans. So,
yes, just hit the chicks tab.
If you're looking for, size 14 men's feet, I got you. $20 a pop.
We have to do it. One of us has to do it just to see it.
There's got to be a market out there.
That's what I'm saying. Like it has to happen. We're doing it.
I'll sell foot pics, no shame.
No shame at all. Trust me.
And like I said, I got cake, so you might get a sync picture.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Detroit Pistons want to compete next year. They've been front forward with saying that they wanted to compete this year. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because of the situation with Cade Cunningham. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know if they would have been able to compete this year. Still, I think they're very much still in the development phase. It's a very, very young team. They have some veteran pieces here, yes, but they're just that pieces, guys to help you out along the way. I want to know, because we like to clown on a certain franchise, the Sacramento Kings, and they put themselves in the same position where they're kind of just rushing the fact to make the playoffs, almost just to say they made the playoffs.
They're having a damn good year.
Tom Gores did that in the past before, too. I don't know if you guys remember the playoff series that my guy Chris loves award Blake Griffin for. I had a torn MCL. It ain't that bad. All
right, relax.
All right. But
there's a lot of difference between what you do on a daily basis and Blake Griffin playing.
Blake ain't carrying around this much weight.
Yeah, he probably is.
Is.
Not as much, but pretty close.
He's just a foot taller.
Yeah.
He can jump higher.
A lot easier for him. It's evenly distributed. Mine's just centered right there on my MCL. But nonetheless, do you think that Tom Gores, maybe it's him at the forefront of it, or maybe it's Troy Weaver and the guys, but do you think they're making a mistake in rushing the win?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're rushing to win. I think they have a legitimate core, and if they add some pieces to it, they can be a contender.
But if it's to the point where they're being offered first-round picks for Bojan Bogdanović, and it's not.
You can only have so many first-round picks, and then you got a team full of young guys that doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
They already have enough first-round picks. They need difference makers, is what they need. They need solidified solidified NBA scorers.
They need Dre Bly.
Solidified NBA players. Right now, they have a bevy of young talent. They have a bunch of guys that you look at that are all right, they're going to be good in the future. But what you need is some guys that are good now. to help them jumpstart. So, no, I'm not mad at it at all. And you look at the Kings, they're third in the West right now.
Yeah.
Like, they're having a damn good season.
That's fair.
And how'd they do that? They traded Therese Halliburton to get a guy like DeMontis Sabonis, who is a legitimate NBA All-Star, and they brought him in there, and now he is the corner piece of a team. So, I'm not mad at it at all.
But you said they need bona fide NBA players.
Yes.
Having the faith that you do in Troy Weaver, wouldn't he get that with those extra draft capital, or at least turn that extra draft capital into making a trade for a superstar? Because we know a superstar's not going to sign here just off the streets. This is Detroit. I know we're a storied franchise, but let's be real. Guys aren't signing for the big money here.
You don't need extra draft capital to do that. You have your own draft capital that you can do that with, and you have these young pieces that you can do that with. Right now, I think Troy Weaver's going to draft stars, but they're not going to become stars for 5 years. And at that point, Cade Cunningham will be in the middle of his prime. At that point, Jalen Duren will still be like 22. At that point, these guys will be at the point where they're ready to go. And right now, if you bring in legitimate NBA talent, you can give them a taste of what winning's like, so that when they're in their prime and you make one, they've already been there. It's not something new to them. It's not something that's just happening out of nowhere. You need to be in the mix before you can take the jump. You don't go from worst team in the NFL to title contender. Or you don't go from worst team in the NBA to title contender.
That's fair. I think the Lakers only want to do it.
Yeah, because they got LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a little different.
Guys who've been there.
Guys who have been there. Guys who are superstars.
Well, not AD, but
he was.
AD was
with
there.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the first round.
He was balling.
Swept by the Warriors.
Balling in the playoffs.
But got that experience.
Do you think they're making a mistake rushing it, Chris?
No, not at all. For all the reasons that you guys pointed out. And one in particular, Eazy, is this is the difference between the NFL and the NBA. NFL, you come in at 23, 24. You're a grown man. These NBA players, they come in at 18, 19, 20 a lot of times. So these are guys that, again, it does, like Spencer said, take 4 or 5 years to find their role in the league. Sometimes even longer than that. Sometimes even 7, 8 years. So you got your own draft capital to build off of. You have what you presume to be a big 3 core moving forward of Cade, Ivy, and Duren, and potentially even a big 4, depending on where you land in the draft lottery this year and who they are and how they pan out. So you have more than enough young talent. Now it's about surrounding them with, again, guys that win, guys that can establish culture. Because right now, the most alarming thing Spencer said was last segment when he talked about the defense and not having any identity. They just have things to work on, almost as if they have no direction, no focus. And so a lot of that will change with the new coaching staff, I assume. Because again, I'm assuming that next year there will be a new coach.
There's going to be a new head coach next year.
I would put a lot of money on that.
We have we're in the know a little bit. It's kind of crazy because football is my favorite. But I'm more in the know with the Pistons somehow. I don't know how that works out, but rumors are that Casey might land himself in the front office as a mutual situation with the Detroit Pistons. So I saw some stuff, Casey in the hot seat. Well, let me tell you, sir. Is that considered hot seat if it's a mutual?
No.
Mutual dumping?
Yeah. I mean, say if he doesn't have the job, seat's a little warm. The seat's just a tad warm.
Did someone fart in here?
Did someone fart? The
seat's a little warm.
Nothing's worse than sitting on a warm toilet seat.
Oh my God. Disgusting.
Oh man,
that is awful.
So why'd you just put that in my head?
Yeah.
I was only pestering you guys with questions to play devil's advocate.
No, Rita, Mark Jackson's not going to be the head coach.
I don't want that. I don't mind Mark Jackson, to be honest with you guys. But I was pestering you with the questions because just play devil's advocate. But I'm with you. Win now. I think when we have Cade, you're that much closer. And I could be alone in that belief in him, but I just truly believe he's that type of player. He's the cerebral type to where he's playing to win games. So there'll be maybe some numbers up there with you, but at the end of the day, it's coming with dubs. That's just the type of player that he is. And like you said, you doesn't have to be the extra capital you get from another team. You can mortgage your future to get whatever you need to make it shake. Mm-hmm. And Troy Weaver comes from the branch of the OKC where Sam Presti's constantly making moves. Yes, grabbing more draft picks, but I feel once there's going to come a time where he's going to have to pull a trigger to complete their process and give them a superstar. And he's just loaded up and has all the ability to do it. Now, obviously, I would like to have that to sit on top of so he could make that move. And we're not mortgaging the Detroit Pistons' future directly, but I have faith that they can compete.
But it was different for the Thunder, they had stars they traded away. It wasn't like a Bojan Bogdanović that gets you one first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
They were trading Chris Paul. They were trading guys like that give them legitimate assets.
Yeah.
And if, the Pistons were sitting on a veteran who's averaging 30 points a game, I'd say, trade him now so you can get 3 first-round picks for him. But they don't have that. Like, the Jazz blew up their entire team, which is different. The Pistons don't have a Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell to trade right now.
Yeah.
So,
and I feel like too when you have a star like Cade Cunningham, one that just through like my interactions with him, he is that true competitor that wants to compete. I don't know if you guys remember before he was even drafted by Detroit Pistons. He was on the JJ Redick podcast, and he had made a bet with him like, whatever team I'm landing on my rookie year, we're making the playoffs. And JJ was like, oh, like you don't know yet, which obviously he didn't know yet because the Pistons ended up back in the lottery. But he has that edge to him, and you don't want him to either grow complacent or grow sick and disgusted with like where the franchise is his entire 10-year here.
That's not in Cade's DNA.
If we keep losing, I don't know, man.
It's not in his DNA.
It's just
he sees what they're building. He likes it here. You see him on the sidelines. Like Jack Kelly posted a Cade Cunningham sideline highlight reel the other day. Like it's sad, but it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's not in his DNA to give up or quit.
Yeah, I want them to. I'm not saying go all in to where you're unless it's something worth going all in for, but I'm okay with them pressing the issue to win. You gonna say something else, Chris?
Yeah, just to the OKC part. Like, you're just starting. Those are two totally different rebuilds. Like the Pistons, as much as you joke on me for enjoying the Blake Griffin time, by the time Blake Griffin was at his end in Detroit, you couldn't trade him, and that was your best player. So you started from ground zero. You had no cap. You had no picks to trade of your own. You had to literally just start from absolute scratch. Where OKC traded first from Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, and Paul George. They loaded up. Like, they traded 3 stars. Like, they started from a much more luxurious a point of much more.
No, I'm not comparing the two to the similarities. I'm just saying that, like,
it's easier.
Comes from that brand.
To stash draft picks when you have stars to trade away.
Yeah.
The Pistons don't have stars to trade away.
But sometimes those stars come through draft picks, though, too. You know, you get one guy, it's not working out, or he's looking like he may be something for someone else. Unfortunately, Chris Middleton was that for the Detroit Pistons once upon a time. Listen, man, just do it now, man. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Let me tell you guys about Big Boy. Because wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the classic meatloaf or Cajun chicken Alfredo. What about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The Lumberjack, Santa Fe Garden, or Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today and satisfy those taste buds.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Spotless sanitized rooms with trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals where they beat all competitors by a whopping $5.
$5?
$5.
Wow.
Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Calton, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Chili Peppers Tan.
But Greg Fullerton.
Up, though. Welcome back to Woodward Blitz Live. Woodwardsports.com. I'm Eazy joined by my guy Spielman Rex. Murph in the Woodward Sports chat actually asked a really great question.
Shout out Murph.
He asked, what type of conversation are we having this time next year if the Pistons do land Victor Wembanyama? How do you say it?
Wembanyama.
Wanna bang your mama.
Wanna bang your mama. We're just going to stick with that one. I thought that's a great question.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think you're talking about how Cade Cunningham is
stud
playing in his first All-Star game.
Flirting with all NBA.
This time next year, if the Pistons land Victor Wembanyama. I think you're talking about how Cade Cunningham made the All-Star game. This time next. Because this time, if the basketball team was legitimate, we wouldn't be talking. It's like the Lions last year. Like, we wouldn't be talking about drafting shit already. We'd be talking about teams, players making the All-Star game, what moves they can do to make a playoff push. So next year, my hope is at this point next year, you're talking about Cade Cunningham in the All-Star game. Chris?
Yeah, and to go off that point, like to shoot the team some bail, like the NBA is, again, different than a lot of sports in where one player can dictate so much. And this offense and team was built entirely around Cade. So while, yes, this team is bad, and we are seeing a lot of flaws, you got to keep in mind that the whole system was built around Cade Cunningham. That's the same situation as Dallas with Luka Doncic. The whole offense is built around him. When he goes down, you just see a totally different offense, and you see like Spencer Dinwiddie trying his best to duplicate Luka Doncic, and he's nowhere near that.
Yeah.
So this team is bad. I'm not saying it's not bad, but it looks even worse because your best player and the player you built your entire team around is out for the season. So just keep that in mind.
You know what kind of breaks my heart to say is I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think Wemby and Cade, you're playing at the very least.
Yeah.
But I almost like, I feel like Sadiq has to go at that point because of all the same situation with Bojan, and obviously the Pistons want to move forward with Bojan. That's probably actually what I'm looking forward to this trade deadline. I can't believe I'm saying this because I do enjoy Sadiq. I enjoyed him as a Detroit Piston. I loved watching him. I thought he was going to be something brilliant, but like the makeup of this team, or at least what we hope it's going to be on the road, he's just not looking like a part of it.
You need a defensive anchor.
Yeah.
Like I said, Bojan and Sadiq are too similar in their games.
Are there any defensive guys getting shopped around right now? JB, I know you're always on Twitter.
Alex Caruso.
Actually, Chicago came out and said, we're keeping him. He's almost... Chicago said literally he's, quote, almost untouchable. I don't get that at all. Chicago's a mess.
Stupid, man.
Yeah.
Just blow it up. Like, what are you doing?
By the way, Lonzo, I've always said, I like Lonzo's value. Cade's a way better basketball player, but I've always said like Lonzo's value to a team is like almost the same essence, like a little bit of defense, facilitating the ball.
He's
it's
a
just
great defender.
Team basketball.
Yeah.
Chicago with him, top of the East. Yeah. Without him, the mess they are right now.
And he's got a Brandon Roy type injury.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
It's
for him.
bad. It's bad.
I feel bad. I love Lonzo.
Yeah.
Lonzo was my comp for Killian, actually. Like that's who
I don't hate
see
it.
Killian.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
A guy, assuming Killian can consistently shoot threes.
JB?
She's getting better.
Oh, happy 2-2 day, by the way.
2-2.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's
Shout out.
Lonzo and LaMelo. Just a happy 2-2 day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Jordan Day.
Tomorrow is Jordan Day.
23.
Yeah.
Hey.
You think Killian survives the deadline?
Yes.
Yes.
What are you going to get for... You're not going to get anything for Killian Hayes.
Ooh.
Shut up, dude.
Is
Trying to
it
think,
more
is there a
likely?
contender?
Is it more likely that Sadiq Bey or Alec Burks gets traded? Because I know
Alec
we talked about
Burks.
that on my podcast, but the Sadiq Bey rumors, and like Eazy said, with another top pick, assuming it's a star, at this point,
That's a good question.
yeah, I think it's honestly a very fair question.
Because with Sadiq, you had the argument of him being younger,
Yeah,
and having 50-point games and all the good stuff like that. With Burks, if I'm not mistaken, he's
it
an
feels like
expiring
you'd be
deal,
selling
right?
low on
Yes.
Sadiq.
Yes, you have the expiring deal of Burks as well. What were you saying, Chris, before you interrupted me?
Sorry, I said it feels like you're selling low on Sadiq right now.
Yes, you are.
You are. But you're almost... if you want to win next year, aren't you kind of forced to?
A contender is going after Alec Burks before they're going after Sadiq Bey.
Yeah, true. Damn, man, I feel so bad for Sadiq.
I don't. I mean, it's just what it is. Like I talked about, adding guys to your team. Alec Burks is a guy. He is a solidified NBA scorer. No matter where he is, no matter what position he is, he can come off the bench, possibly be in a starting lineup somewhere. He's going to get you buckets. He's going to shoot a high percentage. You know what you're getting with Alec Burks. Right now, you don't know what you're getting with Sadiq Bey on a night-to-night basis.
So what's his value?
His value is on his projection. His value is on what you think he can be as a player.
In the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So what's yours? Like what?
For Sadiq?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Rui Hachimura, went for, 3 second-round picks on a player?
Yeah.
Sadiq would probably be 2 second-round picks.
Would you be cool with that?
No.
Because it is so low.
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Do you wait it out to trade him next year in the offseason?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's what Troy's going to do. That's what Troy does routinely. I mean, look at his trade history. A lot of it's like around draft time. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with keeping Sadiq through the break then.
Also, then at that point, you know what the draft pick is.
Yeah.
There's no mystery about like, ooh, this pick is protected here through here.
Mm-hmm.
And draft night, you know exactly where it's at. That's why I liked the Jeremy Grant trade for them. He knew exactly where 13. Yeah. Oh, Jalen Duren's on the board. Okay, bet. This is a deal. Like, it's a more sure thing.
Can I confess something too? I wouldn't mind keeping Alec Burks.
What?
Alec Burks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste though.
Well, after they re him up at that point though, but I'm saying like I feel like he could be a piece as well.
Yeah, I like him. I wouldn't be mad if he's on this team.
No, Alec Burks is a good player. Call out the bench and score for sure.
I think he's a good vet too.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the guys. We'll see.
Alec Burks is a difficult shot maker, and that's something you need in the NBA.
And he be heating up sometimes.
He's a guy. Yeah, he's got the strap.
But he's getting like 30 balls like out of nowhere. Did he do that before here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because he's having like 16 on his career, 40% still, or close to 40%
He's
from
done
three.
it for a while.
Like, come on, I want to keep that.
It'd be nice,
especially with Cade. Come on, Alec Burks and Bojan with Cade.
Yeah, it'd be really. That was the plan this year, and I was very excited for it. Unfortunately, Cade got injured.
And Cade with the shin injury.
Yeah.
Because remember, he said this thing's been pre-existing since like high school. I had a couple.
Dropped 38, 9, and 8. The guy is a baller. That's why we could very possibly be getting the best Cade Cunningham the world has ever seen.
This is a world premiere.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
In the first round, 2021 NBA draft. Duh.
Yeah.
Right? 2020. 2020 was killing.
2020.
All right, I have one more graphic in there. The show's winding down a little bit. I don't know. I just feel like a dick when I do this stuff, but I have to. Well, actually, I don't know, Chris. You tell me because you already know what graphics in there, and you don't have to throw it up right now. But man to man, like, is it petty for me to do this stuff to carry on like this?
It is. It's not. It's not. It's all is fair in love and war.
Do you have the one of?
Yeah.
Do you have the salary one?
Yes,
As its own separate one?
I have the salary one.
I guess I only feel awkward about it because it's your guy spinning. But Neil Rule continued his verbal assault that means nothing. But alongside that, JB was TDM for the show, and he always likes to mention that Jared Goff in 2022 played to his value of his contract last year. Jared Goff had a good season, top 10 season, but to the value of his contract. Spinning. 2022, these are top quarterback salaries in the NFL. Do you mind telling me who's number 4 there?
Jared Goff.
So he top 4 paid quarterback in the league?
I don't think so, no.
So if he's playing to the value of his contract, that'd be top 4, right?
Top 4 player, yeah.
JB, did he play to that last year, 2022? Would you say he's a top 4 quarterback in the league?
I mean, top 10 at least.
Top 4?
Top 4? Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Probably not.
Answer's no.
Yeah.
Just wanted to dispel that one. And then my man constantly wants to just bring up like old takes. There's another one.
Yeah.
This he seems to avoid these all the time too. He never likes to bring up the Tua stuff anymore. Malik Willis has the highest ceiling. Who's on that thumbnail right there?
It's Neil Rule.
Neil Rule. Oh, doesn't want to answer the calls, just ducking the smoke. I asked before I did this. I said, is it petty? Chris said go for it.
Yeah.
I gotta clear my name. I'm actually nicer for doing it at this point in the show. I could have did it when the viewership was up when we were talking football.
Yeah.
But it just felt.
You're a good guy, Eazy.
Thank you.
You just kind of did it unprovoked.
Yeah.
No, it was provoked. It's all I
you said something today?
Yeah. What did he say? What did he say today, JB? I think I missed some of it because I tapped out.
Yeah, you were probably missed some of it, but I think you two were kind of going back and forth in the chat. Once again, you were still doing your 12%, and of course Neil was just trying to debunk all that and saying, got to do your research before you swim in the deep end with the big sharks.
And that's where I get pissed off.
Yeah.
It's shit like that. Like, come correct. That's all I'm asking for. Come with facts. Don't just say like you're saying facts when you're not saying facts. If you come for the king, you bet not miss. Like, you got to be certain. Because it's also kind of just disgusting to do to the viewership. Like, I'm not trying to talk shit. That's my dog. I still like Neil. This is sports. And I'm killing him with sports. Yeah. Bold-faced bullshit. That's just not cool. And of course, obviously, he bullied me with the bad take Eazy stuff.
Yeah, that shit's annoying.
That shit was hella annoying.
I yelled at him a couple times about that. Both D-Mac and Neil.
The whole thing that inspired that too, this shit was, I was on Twitter and someone said like Easy's takes expire or age like milk. It was on the one that I called Dre Bly or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I said Neil real liked it, and I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
We doing this? This is what we doing right here?
Remember when Snoop Dogg said that guy body looked like a bag of milk? Most disrespectful thing I ever heard in my life.
Do I talk about Swiss Insurance right now?
Yeah.
Or is that when we come back?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me tell you this. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose January 1st as the effective date, but Swiss can help make sure they get the proper coverage now. Swiss Insurance, give our guy Mark a call, give him a chance, and you won't be disappointed at mark@swissins.com. This is Woodward Heavyweights. We'll be right back.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm your boy Eazy, joined by my man Spin Morax.
What up, though?
The Joe Mixon stuff.
Yeah, this is so weird. JB just sent us this. It's by NBC Sports. Joe Mixon, Pro Football Focus's Mike Renner reports Joe Mixon is wanted on aggravated menacing charges in Cincinnati. What is it? Local sports reporter Chris Wrinkle confirmed Renner's report. Per Wrinkle, Mixon is accused of pointing a gun at a woman in a downtown Cincinnati. He allegedly said, "You should be popped in the face, and I should shoot you now."
What the fuck?
This would be an extremely serious situation for any player, but it is especially disturbing in Mixon's case when he was caught on camera punching a woman in college. This is a developing story that will update soon as it goes on.
Well, you also had the Darius Miles situation that just happened like 2 weeks ago too.
Yeah,
that is not cool. That is. You know me. I'm not like a big like cancel guy. Like I think that shit's gross. I think it's weak a lot of times. If that's true, like he pointed a gun at a woman and said you should be popped in the face, following like obviously his situation like before he got drafted, I'd be kind of grossed out watching that guy on Sundays. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't think,
especially at the Darius Miles.
I don't think you should put your hands on a woman, and I don't think you should. Definitely not threaten. You shouldn't threaten anybody's life.
Yeah, that's just immature. Like, I've owned firearms in the past. My father, hunts and stuff like that too, and I've always been taught if you pull out a gun, it's a situation where you're using it. You're not just
that's
pulling
what it
out
is.
a gun.
If you pull out a gun, you are supposed to use it because you don't know if somebody else has it.
Yeah.
And if you pull out a gun on somebody else and they have a gun, they're going to use it.
If you're just brandishing a firearm downtown, wherever the hell he was,
Cincinnati.
at a woman, that's bitch shit. That's gross.
That's
pretty fucking gross.
That seems like
allegedly
committable behavior. Like that's something where you need to be talking to someone professionally about behavior like that.
Yeah. That's, I don't know, Mike Hilton, he should not have punched her, but he get spit on and called the N-word.
No, that was Kareem Hunt.
No, actually, I think that was Mixon.
Was it? Well, I know that's what happened to Kareem Hunt.
Dalvin, I'll look it up right now.
I know that's what happened to Kareem Hunt when he kicked that girl.
Oh, she did that?
Yes.
Yeah. Joe Mixon.
I'm not sure about Joe Mixon's situation.
Why, just type in like assault or something?
Yeah, that is that's tough. You never threaten to take somebody's life.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's not something you joke about. That's not something you threaten.
I'm curious too,
especially
what the situation
for a guy
was.
in the position that he's in. That's just stupid,
bro. And that's just crazy. If you really felt a type of there's just no excuse actually. That's kind of gross. Thanks for ruining my day, JB. That's fucked up.
We're seeing it all over in the chat. It's not a toy. It says Grommet0237. It's true. It's true. It's not a toy. It's something that you have to protect your life, and not something you should be using to threaten people.
DesBT.
Jesus, it's snowing bad out there.
Made a great point, a great comment in the Woodward Sports chat. He says, now play devil's advocate is a scenario that could justify Mixon. That's what I typically do, and that's why I feel cancel culture is just so gross, because I feel like there's a lot of devil's advocates to be played in a lot of these situations. This one, you're pointing a gun in someone's face and just threatening their life.
I don't think pointing a gun in somebody's face and threatening their life is...
I don't know if there's a devil's advocate to that.
There's nothing that can justify that.
Yeah. Like if they assault your child or something like that. But even then, like, I don't know that you're just threatening them. You know what I'm saying? That just seems like you're trying to be a tough guy.
Yes.
Thing. Again, this is all allegedly. But I'm basing my facts off, if it's true, then my feelings, I should say, not facts. But I think that shit's gross. It's pussy shit.
I agree. That's tough.
We do have, man, I don't want to go from that to UFC news.
Oh, Dana will be okay with it.
All right, do you have that UFC graphic in there, Chris?
Check this out.
And maybe I could make this for whatever. I'm going with it now. So Islam Makhachev at some point today mentioned that he feels like the UFC is not promoting this fight enough. And alongside that, he said, honestly, I want to knock him out because everyone says that Islam is a grappler or a wrestler, but I want to show people my striking. Alexander Volkanovski's guy he's fighting is a short guy, and I really believe I can knock him out. The reason why this excites me so much,
That's tough talk.
That is.
It is tough talk because he is a grappler.
And you said it.
That's what he does.
King, you best not miss. My guy Volk diced up Max Holloway, who is one of the best strikers in the history of the UFC.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I thought this fight. All due respect to Volk. Volk is pound for pound for a reason. Like he is.
I love Volk, man.
He's great.
So
he's
fun.
a featherweight goat. I love Max, and he
watch.
just ripped his heart out and put it in his pocket. Yeah, took his belt and everything. You're not standing up. If he wins this fight, it's on the feet.
Yes.
You're going to give him that opportunity. That's on you, buddy. But if it was a grappling situation, Islam, I think, smeeshes him.
Yeah, you're not standing up with Volk. I'm sorry, Islam. Try it, but if you try it, you're going to be walking out there without a belt.
But he's saying like...
so like I said, the last fight against Max wasn't even close.
Dude, he beat the shit out of Max.
He beat the shit out of Max. And like I said, Max Holloway is one of the best strikers in the history of the UFC. That is not an exaggeration. And Alexander Volkanovski picked him apart in their last fight. It was one of the most dominating performances I've ever seen. He was laughing at him in the middle of the ring. He was talking shit to him, and that's what Max does to people. And Islam, I appreciate the confidence, man, but Volkanovski is a different monster on the feet. And we saw Volk get out of 3 submission attempts by Brian Ortega?
Yeah.
Like deep, so not like he almost got him in
the craziest.
He had the triangle, T-City, what his nickname is, deep.
Shit is crazy.
And Volk just ate that shit, got out of it, and ended up winning the fight.
got out of the guillotine too.
Yeah, he got out of the guillotine, and the guillotine was deep. It's like I said.
He said the guillotine was in, and he was gurgling, and he was like getting ready to go out, but then TCD just gave up on it because he was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
this guy's not like he just felt he didn't have it. Like you said, T-City's his fucking nickname.
Yes.
Triangle City. Like, that's what he does.
Yeah.
And Volk survived. Volk, that is by far, obviously MMA is a crazy sport. You see, that was the wildest shit.
That was the most impressive one I've seen in a long time.
The wildest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah. He should have been out twice. He should have been submitted twice.
The only issue, though, the reason why I think Islam smashes him if he doesn't stand up, obviously, he doesn't go for submissions.
Yeah,
he's beating the shit out of you.
He just gets on top of you and dominates.
Smeesh.
But, like, Volk, you know, he's played rugby. He's not a guy that would
fought
be
at middleweight.
I understand Islam is a different beast when it comes to wrestling, but like, it's not going to be easy to just sit on top of Volk and punch him.
He's got the lower center of gravity.
His thighs, his legs.
Yeah.
I think he's putting on weight for this too. I'm just saying, man. I think Volk wins this fight.
What?
I do.
Like after that, or like before that, you thought that?
Before that, I thought that.
You're fucking insane.
I'm just saying, man. The way Islam handled DuBronx was that was eye opening. That was eye opening for sure. But like,
bro, he's gonna take him down and smash him.
Volkanovski, dude,
he's not surviving.
What I've seen him do in his past 4 fights is shit that I'm just like, all right, he should lose this fight. He's gonna lose this fight, and he doesn't. And then, like I said, the way he just picked apart Max Holloway, that was one of the most dominating wins I've ever seen in my life.
I don't even know. I think you're crazy. But if the fight's standing, I give it to Volk.
Yeah.
Am I a sucker for buying into that, JB? Or like, am I a sucker for like? Because people say it all the time, it just doesn't end up happening.
Yeah.
Like that's what Conor McGregor said against Poirier. First one to shoot's a dusty bitch. I think Conor's the first one to shoot.
Poirier was tagging him up.
Yeah. Some guys are like, we're just sitting in the middle. Yeah,
Poirier's one of the best boxers in the UFC. Like, dude's got hands.
I'd rather see that fight, Volk versus Poirier.
Volk versus Poirier, no. Volk would.
Remember how Poirier did Max like that too, though?
I know, but like, dude, Volk is something else, man.
Because here's the difference. I guess he did fight Jose.
Yeah.
I say, I don't really fought anyone like with power and shit like that. Fuck that, Chris. We go over. Hey, what we on? We good. I am speechless, Paul Thomas. If it's standing up, it's Volk. But we'll open the show.
Yeah, obviously Islam is one of the best wrestlers. He's the best wrestler in the UFC.
Yeah, right now I'd say so.
So it's tough, but like, man, there's something else about Volk, man.
There's one thing about like escaping like a submission, like a sub.
Yeah.
It's different when you're
getting away from a wrestler.
Yeah, you don't have an opportunity to escape. Yeah. You're just getting punched and pummeled by the bigger guy.
I'm just saying, man.
Can we put the picture up one more time, Chris? I just wanted the size.
He is a lot bigger.
Yeah. Come on.
I mean,
this is crazy.
You know, Max Holloway was a couple inches bigger than Volk as well.
I know, but this is on fight night. Like, he's easily weighing 30 pounds heavier than him.
Is he?
You look at this,
dude. Volk has been thick his whole life. Like I said, he's been a rugby guy. He knows how to put on weight.
Just rooting for the guy with the fat ass.
Yeah, bro. Thick kings, man. And I love Volk. But that'll do it for us today. We appreciate you all tapping in on WoodwardSports.com and joining us for the Woodward Heavyweights live from 5 to 7 p.m. For the men to my left, the one and only Speak Eazy. We got Chris Platty in the TD booth, JB Smooth on the ones and twos. I am Spencer. We are the Woodward Heavyweights, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.